What's going on, CrossFit Federal Way? It is week number 3 of our Backyard Battle Royale, and I'm here to tell you about what we're getting ourselves into tomorrow morning. So let's take a look at the whiteboard. So event number 3, this workout is called Hopscotch. We are looking at a 2-parter, so there will be 2 scores involved in this workout. Now, I want to throw this out there. If anybody decides to redo the workout or try for a better score or do anything of that nature, you have to redo both parts. Just like if it was an open workout or something like that, the second piece has to happen after the first. So if you're just trying to redo it to get a better strength score on that 1 rep max or a better score on the first part, you're going to have to do both of them. So keep that in mind when we're thinking about strategy around beating our friends in this workout. Looking at the board, there will be a 25-minute total cap. So total running clock for 25 minutes. You will have that entire 25 minutes to do both parts. We start off with every 3 minutes for 4 rounds. So the first 12 minutes of your workout, you're going to be doing the exact same thing. It's going to start off with a buy-in. That buy-in is going to start off with 15 box jump overs. For our prescribed athletes, it's going to be a 24-inch box for guys and a 20-inch box for gals. We then grab a jump rope and we're knocking out 50 double unders. Then we get to what really matters for our score in the first part. In the time remaining in that 3-minute working period after we finish our jump overs and our double unders, we go into a max effort ground to overhead. Now the caveat here, just like we did earlier in the week this week, athletes get to choose their weight. So you get to pick your load. Yes, we are going total weight moved for the score on this first 4 rounds. So you get to choose your weight. It can be a really light barbell and knock out a whole bunch of reps, or it can be a heavier barbell with fewer repetitions. It just depends. Can you hold a aggressive pace and get through your jump overs and your double unders in order to get to that ground to overhead? So we'll talk about standards here in just a moment. Once we finish those 4 rounds, we go immediately into the remaining time of that 25 minutes, so the 13 minutes left, is devoted to going heavy on a 1 rep max power clean. So we're going from the floor to our shoulders, heaviest load that we can get successfully on the power clean. And now we just maxed out our clean and jerk on Monday, so we should have a good idea kind of where we're at on that, and that's going to give us a chance to strategize better around this workout. So again, there will be 2 scores. And yes, there will be a first, second, and third in each of those 2 scores, even though it is 1 workout. That's going to be, on the first piece, your total weight moved on your ground to overhead repetitions. On the second piece, the heaviest successful load of that power clean. So let's go talk about movement standards real quick. We'll step back over here. We'll talk about the scaled movements, or in the scaled version of this workout, and then we'll get to it. So, starting with our box jump overs. Again, for guys, it is a 24-inch box. Now, there are some strategies that I will talk about in terms of cycling this movement, but I may not demonstrate just because of where my knees are at currently. So if I mention something and I don't demo it, it's because it's something that I shouldn't or can't do currently. But for the jump overs, currently I have it set up at the 24-inch box height. I want both feet to touch the top of the box. No other part of your body can touch the top of the box, so no hands, no anything else. If you get wonky or weird with it, you have to start that movement over. Now, unlike a box jump where we're looking for full extension, a jump over does not require extension. So when I'm doing a box jump over, I just need both my feet to touch the top of the box, and then I'm landing on the other side. So what that looks like, up and over, I can then go back over the other side. So that would be 1 rep. Every time my feet start on one side and end on the other, that is where my rep is counted, not when your feet touch the top of the box. So if you're going fast, and let's say that I've already done 14 box jump overs, if I go to jump over and I come off the side, that is a no rep. I did not finish every single repetition I do in the remaining 3 minutes, because this is done on the honor system, and we don't have judges and we don't have someone holding us accountable while we're going fast and robbing our brain of oxygen. If I come off the side and go for my jump rope or anything else like that, all of those reps are nullified. That means you get a 0 for working really hard for 3 minutes. So make sure when you're finishing your box jump, you're going all the way over before you walk over to your jump rope. Now, I do not have to face the box. I can jump laterally, which a lot of athletes might find this a little bit easier. There's also one other strategy that I'll do my best to demonstrate here, where if I'm doing jump overs, while extension isn't required, I might think about rebounding on my jumps in order to make them count. So what that would look like is I'm going to jump up on the box, I'm going to turn around on the top of the box. Now instead of dropping off and having to jump back up, I'm going to try to rebound and come back up. That's 1 rep. That's 2, because my feet are touching the ground on the other side. And you might be able to find that it's a little more sustainable to rebound your repetitions, and you might be able to move a little bit faster. I'm not going to demonstrate anymore because that's one of those ones I was nervous about with my knees. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of what our jump over standards are going to be for this workout. So next we go to our double unders, and I know for those of us that have dubs, we kind of know what the point is. We're going 2 rotations every single jump. Make sure you're keeping your elbows tucked into your body. Hands are a little bit forward in the frontal plane of the body, and I'm rebounding off my toes. I'm jumping nice and tall, so that way when I'm going through my double under reps, my mechanics are smooth, I'm not wasting energy, and it becomes a sustainable movement instead of if I'm piking or if I'm donkey kicking, if my arms are way out, my shoulders are over tension, things like that. I'm gonna waste energy and I'm gonna burn out, especially when we get through the first 2 rounds. The second 2 rounds, trying to go fast on the jump overs and the double unders is going to hurt. It's going to be difficult because you want to sprint this in order to maximize the amount of weight that you can move on that bar. But there is no rest break in between each, so you have to balance that pacing. Now, when we get done with the jump overs, again, 15 reps here, 50 reps on the jump rope, I'm coming to my bar. The ground to overhead is exactly what it sounds like. I can go from the floor to overhead anyhow, any way. It can be a clean and jerk, it can be a clean and press, it can be a snatch, it can be whatever you want it to be, as long as that bar starts on the floor and ends up overhead. So, again, it could be a clean and jerk to get overhead. It could also be a snatch. One smooth movement to get that barbell all the way up. So yeah, anyway, clean and jerk or snatch, either will work, and they don't have to be pretty. It just has to end up in a locked out position, overhead, under control, which means that you are demonstrating control at the top of that movement. It is not something where we're, if I go to jerk it and I catch it here with bent knees and I bring that bar back down, still a no rep. So again, honor system, but try to keep the standard so that way we're not fudging scores and doing things like that. Because sometimes it's hard to remember to do those things when we are moving quickly through a workout. Now, when we finish those 4 rounds and we're tired, chances are the first few minutes of that remaining 13 minutes is going to be spent resting. Why? Because trying to lift heavy right after you finish that workout where you're sprinting basically for the first 12 minutes, probably not going to feel very good to move a bar. Now the power clean itself, the bar is going from the floor, catching at the shoulders, and as long as I'm standing up tall, that rep totally counts. Now what makes a power clean is that I never pass parallel in my squat. So that means that if I'm getting heavy and I can't stand it all the way up, I can get into a partial squat to receive that barbell and it still count as power. So once I'm catching that bar, if I'm in a partial squat and I stand back up, still counts. Everything here is still power, still power. As soon as I break parallel, now I'm no longer a power clean. So keep that in mind for those of us that are trying to go heavy but we can't get the bar high enough. As long as you're not breaking parallel with your hip crease going below the top of your knee. So again, if my hips are a little higher than my knees and I'm here catching, this is still a power clean. As soon as I'm getting into that squat or below parallel, no longer a power clean. So that is the movement standards for our prescribed athletes. Let's take another look at the board here real quick. So look at the scaled version of this workout. Now scaled, we don't have to change that much. If we look at the side here, we're gonna start off, instead of 15 box jump overs, now I'm doing step overs, and instead of double unders, I'm doing single unders. Everything else stays the same. Why? Because we're picking our weight on our ground to overhead. So scaled athletes will pick something that they can do. And then the power clean is still a power clean regardless of where we're at on our fitness journeys and all that sort of stuff. So this part here doesn't really change depending on RX or scaled, but these two do. So let's take a look at the standards one more time. For our scaled athletes specifically, box heights will also remain the same. 24 inches for guys, 20 inches for gals. If I'm doing a box step over, I do not need to hit extension in my hips. Now I can just step over the box. Both feet still touch the top, and then I'm stepping down. I prefer, this is just how I prefer to do this. You can do it however you want. I prefer when doing a step over to go laterally because it requires less energy overall. And I can step up with my leading foot, step behind with my second foot, and I'm stepping all the way down. That way my step overs look a little like this. Both feet have to touch the ground every rep, but pretty easy to keep that sustainable as you're going up and over that box. Now you are still allowed to do your step overs however you want to. You can face the box, you can do whatever, as long as both feet touch the top and both feet touch the ground on either side, both beginning and end, then we're good to go. And then single unders, I don't think I need to explain the single unders. Same mechanics, wrist rotation, keep the elbows close, jump off your toes and rebound off your toes, but only one rotation instead of two. So that is gonna be, we can head right back over to the board, but that is gonna be event number 3 for our backyard battle royale. Again, the name of the workout is Hopscotch. You can probably guess why it's called that. But this one's gonna be go hard and fast, try to hold on. Expect this one to hurt quite a bit on the cardiovascular side of things. And with that, let's get after it.